Our next presenters are from MilliporeSigma and Simtra. They're going to do a joint presentation. Joining us is Giuseppe Camporeale, Commercial Development Manager for ADCs and Small Molecules at MilliporeSigma. And also joining us is Lupe Rojas, Senior Director of Business Development at Simtra. With 15 years of experience as a conjugate and linker payload CDMO, MilliporeSigma has a proven track record of supporting clinical programs from IND to PPQ for commercialization. With 65 plus years of sterile injectable manufacturing experience, Simtra Biopharma Solutions offers world-class GMP sterile fill and finish services, deep scientific and technology expertise, and a uniquely collaborative approach to support customers' strategic objectives. Welcome, gentlemen.
Perry, thanks a lot for the introduction. My name, as you said, is Giuseppe Camporeale, a Commercial Development Manager for the CDMO department of MilliporeSigma. And I'm very happy to be here today to talk about our capabilities as a CDMO in the field of ADCs and bioconjugation. Perry, as you mentioned, I will not be alone in this presentation. Lupe Rojas, my counterpart at Simtra Biopharma Solution, will take over to present their capabilities in their field. And then together we'll give some information about the recently announced collaboration between our two companies, which I'm sure will raise the interest of all the ADC community. This being said, I'm happy to deep dive a little bit on MilliporeSigma and our capabilities as an integrated CDMO capable of developing, manufacturing, and testing new molecules, new APIs across a variety of modalities, namely small molecules, which includes high potent APIs, which includes, of course, linker payloads for ADCs as well, mRNA and lipidic nanoparticle formulation, viral vectors for cell and gene therapies, and of course, ADCs and bioconjugates. Across all those modalities, MilliporeSigma can behave as an integrated CTDMO or as a standalone contract testing service provider. Now, it doesn't matter what our customers need or in which modality they operate. We are all in to provide the best possible service and support their drug development programs from the early clinical phases through commercial. When we zoom in our ADC capabilities, this is where the magic happens. This is our Center of Excellence for Bioconjugation in St. Louis, Missouri, US. It's the first commercial ADC facility to be successfully inspected by the FDA in 2020. It's a massive facility. It spans across more than 390,000 square feet. It hosts 4 GMP manufacturing facilities and leverages the expertise and know-how of more than 450 employees. And for what concerns bioconjugation, it hosts a development space and 2 manufacturing suites, one more dedicated to early phase clinical programs, and another one more focused on late stage and commercial ones. Our counterpart from Lonza has already highlighted how important it is to be experienced and be flexible in the ADC world, because more and more we don't only have to handle standard antibody drug conjugates, on which our company has already a vast experience, but more and more with what we call novel conjugates, where, for instance, the biological moiety is not a standard mAb, but can be substituted by a fragment of an antibody or by a bispecific antibody, or where the linker payload are not just standard toxins, but include molecules like chelators for radioimmunoconjugates, biopolymers, oligonucleotides, antibiotics, and dyes. Now, the site of St. Louis has the luxury to rely for its supply chain on some molecules that can be produced in GMP grade on site in our bioorganics biopolymer labs, molecules such as polyamino acid, polysaccharides, polynucleotides, or lipids that can enter into the supply chain of ADCs. Our process and analytical development department leverages 10 specialized project teams whose main task is delivering robust methods and manufacturing processes for new custom GMP projects, but also supporting and continuing the development of these GMP projects throughout their whole life cycle. The expertise of these teams doesn't only rely on the experience with a high number of different constructs, ADC constructs that they have put together along the last couple of decades, but also they are very, very good analytical chemists capable to produce state-of-the-art analytical method packages to characterize every new molecule that this department produces. Moving into the manufacturing space, as said, we leverage two manufacturing suites. With a lot of fantasy, we call them Suite 1 and Suite 2. Suite 1 is the smallest one, the first one to be open already in 2008, and recently expanded in 2021, 2022. That's dedicated mainly to early clinical phase programs. We can manipulate high potent linker payloads there. It spans across 1,200 square feet or 110 square meters. It's a fully grade D negative pressured environment with HEPA filters for air going in and coming in and going out. That can handle reaction on a pretty flexible span of reactors in terms of size, from 10 to 500 liters, including single-use reactors. A set of safety doors and airlocks guarantee the full unidirectional flow of personnel and materials and equipment. Suite 1 is also equipped with a purification area that hosts our TFF and chromatography equipment, a wash area for the equipment cleaning, a dedicated labeling and packaging area in grade D, and a feature that is very much appreciated by our operators and our customers, a set of high-resolution cameras for on-site viewing, so that whenever a customer comes on-site for a visit, or whenever a supervisor has to take a look at the status of the operation, they can do it from the site, but without physically entering the manufacturing suite, thus reducing the risk of contamination. Moving to Suite 2, well, this is a huge manufacturing room. It spans across more than 10,000 square feet or 930 square meter. It's dedicated, as said, to late phase programs, including commercial. It can manipulate high potent compounds. Same as Suite 1 is fully unidirectional for the movement of personnel and material. It's equipped with with camera viewing, and also with another feature that is particularly interesting. It's an amber lighting switch that turns the natural light into amber light, which is very, very important when you are handling light-sensitive compounds. This space is divided into a drug way-up room of grade C, equipped with isolators for drug linker way-up, a production room also in grade C with a flexible set of reactors, including single-use reactors spanning from 10 to 500 liters, a bulk fill room in grade C as well for aseptic filling via biosafety cabinets, and a washroom in grade D containing the autoclave for the equipment washing. So we can definitely claim a vast expertise in ADC and bioconjugation production. We have so far produced and released batches of ADCs spanning from very small scale, like a few milligrams, up to 10 plus kilograms in GMP. We have a sound track record in validated programs, and we have successfully undergone a PAI inspection in 2020. We have significant experience in chromatography purification development, and a broad expertise in any kind of bioconjugation chemistries, including the most traditional stochastic ones based on cysteine or lysine conjugation, to the most state-of-the-art ones, site-specific or site-directed conjugation chemistries, including engineered cysteines, enzyme-assisted conjugation, or techniques based on the insertion of non-natural amino acids or engineered tags in the biological component. Metal-free click chemistry, we can do it, no problem. Same as glycan remodeling platforms. We have used, as said, different kind of payloads and linker, which include cytotoxic molecules, immunotoxin, oligonucleotide, dyes, antibiotics, and chelators. Now, the site of St. Louis has the characteristic of being very technology-oriented. They have always been the first adopters of new technologies within our network. They have been the first one adopting single-use reactors in 2017, and they are currently implementing process analytical technologies both in development and manufacturing. Let me sum up the level of experience they have with bioconjugates with a couple of features. They have so far released more than 1,000 development batches. They have successfully supported more than 70 IND enablements. 260 batches have been produced under a GMP environment, and more than 30 have supported commercial programs. Our scientists have experimented more than 100 different bioconjugate constructs. This means ADCs in any possible declination. Of course, this is not enough because the market, has been pointed out before, is evolving. A lot, the pipeline of ADCs is strengthening up. A lot of new programs are moving into late commercial phase and late clinical phase and commercial, and we had to adapt. We have already invested $76 million in our Center of Excellence in St. Louis to upgrade the PAD, QC, R&D, manufacturing laboratories, and the logistic departments. And we plan to build new labs for buffer preparation, cold storage, and expand our warehousing spaces. All in all, our target is to triple the manufacturing capacity to meet increased global demand for ADC. This is definitely an important milestone for our history in bioconjugation, not the only one. Another very important one is what we will talk with Lupe right now, is a 5-year strategic alliance for ADC drug substance and drug product manufacturing between MilliporeSigma and Simtra Biopharma Solutions. And this being said, I'm very, very happy to pass the ball to Lupe for the presentation about Simtra's capabilities.
Thank you, Giuseppe. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I will go ahead and get started. I will do just a brief introduction of myself. Giuseppe had highlighted some of the capabilities at Millipore. I will do the same for Simtra. My name is Lupe Rojas. I've been working in the healthcare industry for a little over 20 years, with roughly 10 of those years in the CDMO space, working for Baxter and now obviously Simtra. So I will go ahead and speak to some of our capabilities and then speak a little bit about the strategic alliance that Giuseppe highlighted here a second ago. And so with that, I will highlight who we are at Simtra. So Simtra is a premier independent CDMO, really focused on partnering with our clients, whether they be pharmaceutical or biotechnology companies, in the development and production of high quality sterile injectable product for global markets on behalf of our clients. So who is Simtra at a glance? I'll start from left to right and really highlight a few of the key, I'll call it data points that really make Simtra unique, highlight our footprint, and then also the delivery platforms and the product types that we handle at Simtra. So on the left, you can see here, Simtra has over 65 years of sterile injectable manufacturing experience, in particular at Hala. We've grown quite a bit over the last several years, post, I'll say, acquisition from Baxter, where we were approximately 1,000 employees. We are now over 2,000, which is obviously great to funnel some of the growth that we've seen from our clients. We support over 60 pharma and biotech clients, and through that support, we produce over 70 commercial products that are distributed throughout the globe between our two sites. And within those 70 products, we actually manufacture 6 of the 17 commercially approved ADCs and 3 out of the 7 commercially approved GLP-1. So a pretty wide base of, I'll say, experience between the two sites. Because of the, I'll call it, commercial production experience that we have, we're obviously highly regulated. We are audited over 65 times throughout the year between our clients and respective agencies throughout the globe. And then last but not least, I do want to highlight we've made significant investments and we've announced over $450 million of CapEx in terms of capacity expansion, capability expansion over the last 2 years between 2023 to 2025. And that capacity is starting to come on site now as we start to speak. So how do we support our clients? We really support them through our two sites, our two sister sites, one in Bloomington, Indiana, US, right in the Midwest. And then the other one, our Halle, Germany site that we'll talk a little bit more about, which is just a few hours north of Frankfurt for context. And between these two sites, we actually distribute product on behalf of our clients to over 120 countries throughout the globe. The platforms that we use, I'll start at the top. Really, these two are focused out of our Bloomington, Indiana site, where we do pre-filled syringes and diluent syringes. And then on the bottom here are liquid and lyo vials. They're actually both done at both our Bloomington and Halle site, both supporting clinical and commercial manufacturing. And the product types that we handle at these two respective sites. So the top three are really focused on our Halle site in Germany. And then I'll say the bottom 2 and 3 are also for our Bloomington site. So our site in Halle, Germany handles cytotoxics, obviously ADCs, and highly potent molecules, both in biologics and small molecules. And then our Bloomington site, as we know, the industry is moving more towards, I'll say, large molecule biologics. That's the wide range of products that we handle there. But we also handle vaccines and small molecules. And between those two, I'll call it respective sites, we produce over 150 million units annually for our clients. So again, speaking to the breadth and depth of experience that we have. So digging in a little bit further into our Halle, Germany site. So this site is really, truly a world-class facility for contract manufacturing in support of our clients. We have over 65 years of experience handling both high potent products or highly sophisticated products. That's also coupled with some of our capabilities at our Bloomington site where we have formulation development expertise, where we can work to partner with our clients to optimize their product, in particular for lyos at both our Bloomington site, and we will be expanding that as well to our sister site in Halle, where we work on optimizing the lyo cycle. As we know, most ADCs, in particular commercial ones, are lyophilized, so we do truly have that expertise available. In addition to that, this site has been a long time SafeBridge certified facility for API and form fill finish. And one of the things that I am really truly proud to say is that we have a great track record of transferring products into this site. We've transferred in over 220 clinical commercial programs. Of those 220, that includes over 60 ADC programs, again, over 60 ADC programs, and over 20 nanotech programs, which speaks to our proven track record, but also our ability to successfully transfer in, I'll call it, these highly sophisticated compounds. And the products are produced for global markets, including the US, EMEA, and Japan. So at Simtra, in particular, this Halle site, we are really focused on providing end-to-end service from analytical, I'll call it development or accelerated development, all the way through manufacturing for ADCs. So from a development perspective, we are able to provide development and validation of analytical methods, formulation developments, including high throughput screening. We can do the compatibility studies for excipients, diluents, and also the container closure. And as we had noted before, from a lyo development perspective, we can do the feasibility, the excipient studies. We can also really test and optimize that lyo cycle for our clients, really focused on that design space for drying capabilities, and also challenging that to make sure that our clients are comfortable with the process to ensure that it's successful when it goes into drug product manufacturing. We can also do a manufacturing feasibility, and then also obviously accelerated stability studies, all based in that Halle site. So as clients know with ADCs, the less you move them, the more ideal that is. So we're trying to obviously offer those services, in particular on the drug product side, all at one place. So again, simplifies the overall supply chain process for our clients. From a pre-commercial service perspective, this is in advance of, I'll call it, commercial manufacturing. We do process optimization and qualification, obviously method transfers and validations. We can do, I'll call it, manufacturing from small scale, non-GMP, and then also early phase 1 all the way to phase 3 clinical manufacturing. And then we can also support the primary and secondary packaging requirements that are needed, and couple that with ICH stability studies all in-house at our Hollis site as well. So how do we do this? Really, when you're talking about these highly potent, sophisticated molecules, you really need to have, I'll call it 2 key pillars. 1, state-of-the-art systems that are in place, and then 2, the right people to support that are highly trained to implement those systems and make sure that things are done appropriately and effectively and efficiently. So when we think about our EHS management systems, really we're focused on ensuring that we have the high industrial hygiene standards that are required for these products. Like I noted before, we have been SafeBridge certified for many, many years for drug substance synthesis and drug product manufacturing. We have a broad utilization of isolator technology. And then as we look at how we look to separate, we have strict, I'll call it compounding requirements and separation for these potent molecules. And then we also couple that with the right systems, meaning you have to have in-house waste management, exposure monitoring as well, and then making sure that you're continuing that up with the right disposal of that waste if and when it's needed. And then couple that with ensuring that our people are highly trained and truly experts in handling of CMR or carcinogenic, mutagenic, or reprotoxic products, and ensuring that we continue to keep up to date with the latest trends in the industry and making sure that our team is properly staffed and ready to go to support our customers' products as they move throughout our supply chain. So when we focus on the I'll call it manufacturing, and now going into clinical and commercial manufacturing, what are we focused on? We're really focused on 3 key pillars. When we're looking at how we set up our manufacturing lines, they're focused on having high quality, high throughput, and minimal loss. We know how expensive the drug product can be, in particular for ADCs, so we want to make sure that we minimize those losses. So that means what we offer to our clients is flexible compounding areas, flexible filling technology, including peristaltic and rotary piston, and then 100% weight check. And we've broken that off into really, I'll call it 2 setups. 1 small scale, which is focused on high flexibility and low loss. And then the second one, I'll call it large scale, which is really focused on high throughput as customers go into that commercial manufacturing. So on the small scale, what makes us really unique is that we can handle compound our batch size as small as 5 liters, all the way up to 350 liters. And we have multiple different sizes of lyophilizers to ensure that we optimize your product and put it to the right lyophilizers as they're needed. And then as an example, a load in one of these lyophilizers for 10 hours, roughly 26,000 vials. But then as those molecules continue to grow and expand, we can go up into the large scale up to 1,500 liters. We have 8 lyophilizers that are currently obviously up and running and operational, and we have more coming with those announcements that we made in terms of capacity expansion. We just recently announced the expansion of our PPF building, which will be operational this year, adding additional capacity for our clients and obviously giving them flexibility, whether that's small scale or large scale. We can handle all your needs in one place. So wanted to briefly touch base on our overarching experience within ADCs. I like to say that we've been at the ground floor when ADCs has started. I'm proud to say that we have over 10 years of commercial manufacturing experience handling ADCs. Again, over a decade of experience handling ADCs at a commercial scale. We've transferred in over 60 ADC programs, including, like I mentioned, 6 commercial programs. And we actually have many, many clients that have, I'll call it a portfolio of ADCs. We know the market continues to grow, and we have clients that are in early phase and also commercial scale. So we have that wide range of requirements that are needed. And with that, we have over 20 active ADC clinical programs in-house today, supporting over 20 ADC clients as well. So now we're going to touch base between myself and Giuseppe. We're going to go through briefly, what the recently announced strategic alliance is going to look like. Our focus is really bringing, the power of 2, I'll call it leaders in the space, and simplifying that into one. So what that means is our focus is, again, streamlining the process. We know that ADCs are very complex from the start of, let's call it, the conjugation, drug substance side of it, and then moving all the way through to the fill finish side. We're bringing these two, I'll call organizations together to, again, focus on streamlining the process for our clients. This is all intended to, again, simplify and make two great organizations and bringing their expertise and offering that to our clients as part of this alliance. So how are we looking to do that? As you can see here, the process of manufacturing, I'll call it ADCs, is very complex. And we're focused on, we'll call it the first three pillars on the left, on ensuring that we have streamlined processes around, the initiation of a project, the contracting of a project, and then bringing those right people together for a project kickoff, ensuring that from the beginning, both respective teams are aligned and understand the client's requirements as they move through into, obviously, the agreements, the analytical and product development as well, and then turning it over to our counterparts at Millipore to do the drug substance, and then ensuring that once that drug substance process is completed, we're aligned on the requirements that are needed to ship it seamlessly, so that once we receive it, it's easy to go and ready for us to handle and effectively manage it as we then go into our formulation development, and then obviously the ADC fill finish side of things. Now that I've highlighted just a little bit about what this strategic alliance is going to look like for our clients, I will hand it over to Giuseppe to talk to a little bit about what we believe will be some of the unique benefits that this alliance will bring to our clients in serving them and streamlining the ADC process. Giuseppe?
Thanks, Lupe. Sure. And to me, the benefits that we are providing together to our customers can be summed up by three keywords: reduce complexity, shorten timelines, and operational synergies. How are we going to do that? Well, through reducing and simplifying the supply chain, harmonizing our processes, and standardizing our practices. What does simplified supply chain means? Well, obviously, when a developer of ADC needs to find a CDMO to bring to the market their product, they have to scout several different partners. And this alliance between two powerhouses definitely makes the selection easier, because we are now trusted partners, and we will definitely recommend Simtra for the DP part, as well as we will be recommended for the DS. This being said, the project management philosophy also plays a big importance in this, because both the companies will appoint a project manager that, as you said, will start working in synchrony since the very beginning of the project. And synchrony means transparency on what's going on for the full process, DS and DP, means streamlining and accelerating the process whenever possible, and means, this is very important, synchronizing the manufacturing slot, adapting the filling slot to the ones for the drug substance. Harmonized processes and standardized practices go hand in hand. This starts, as you mentioned, from the contracting. Sure, you'll need to contract separate with us and Simtra, but the proposal will be prepared in a concurrent manner and will be delivered as soon as possible, at the same time, together with one Gantt. How else can we speed up your processes, harmonizing processes and standardizing practices? We have seamless material transfer, which means that the logistics are aligned and harmonized. It means that the testing and the criteria for receiving materials from one or the other party have been aligned up front and are harmonized. It means that Simtra will start receiving material from the very beginning of the project as well, since the very first synthesis of the first non-GMP batch of ADC, so you can start developing the formulation of the ADC as soon as possible. And again, let me stress how important it is, this joint project management philosophy, ensuring transparency from the very beginning of the process till the end, and also finding, de-risking the project every time it's possible, finding the solution to proactively accelerate it anytime we have the occasion. This can be translated into a slogan that I really feel mine. Like this collaboration between Simtra Biosolution and MilliporeSigma means quality first ADC manufacturing. It gives the pharmaceutical companies, the developers of the ADCs, some peace of mind for whatever concerns the production of their drugs, while they can focus their energy to continue the discovery of new drugs that gives option for the treatment of patients worldwide. And this is what I really think our slogan says, the power of two and the ease of one. And that concludes our joint presentation. Perry,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Great presentation. Interesting, very interesting. We have some questions about the partnership, or to use your term, alliance. So the first is, what's the strategic rationale behind the alliance?
Maybe I can take this one. As Lupe mentioned, and has been repeated several times in today, the production of an ADC is a very complex project. You need to have someone who develops the mAb and produces the mAb, same for the linker payload, someone very expert who puts them together, someone who can take care of the fill and finish and the sterile production of the drug product. If this fragmentation stays when you select your partners, well, definitely this is gonna take time, and a lot of hiccups can happen on the way. When two powerhouses, when two very expert companies in their domain come together instead, they harmonize the procedure, they find solution together, they de-risk the process, and whenever possible, they accelerate it. So the rationale is we want to accelerate the development and the production of new drugs to serve better our common clients and ultimately deliver life-saving drugs to the final patients.
You talked about supply chain simplicity, efficiency. Can you talk a little bit more about that? How is it simplified, and how does it benefit the client?
Yeah, I'll take this one. You know, right now, if you kind of look at where the market is today, given the complexities of overall ADC supply chains, clients many times today are working with multiple different CDMOs across the value chain of the manufacturing process, and we're looking to simplify that. This collaboration will really reduce the overall number of touch points that clients will have, right, from a CDMO, and simplifying that into a much more efficient process for them. You know, Giuseppe highlighted this, having a dedicated project manager on both sides of the house will, one, again, allow us to collaborate, understand what the requirements are from the client, and ensure a much more seamless process to ensure that once they're done, we can receive it effectively, we can stay on time, and if not, accelerate even faster to ensure that once we receive it, it's efficient and we can move into drug product manufacturing as quickly as possible.
So can you talk a little bit more about it sounds like two project managers, the joint project manager concept. How does that work?
Yeah, so I can talk about the joint project management concept. So really what we're looking for is having two experts on both sides of the house that are essentially dedicated and designated to ensure that, one, we have that simple, seamless, I'll say, transfer of information between the two respective organizations. And Giuseppe highlighted that full transparency. So knowing that we have that transparency across the two teams, again, makes it much more simplified. And our focus is with this joint alliance that we're looking to essentially better coordinate, which would then effectively, in our view, have better and faster decision-making, and then which will ultimately benefit the client in a faster process as they move forward.
And Giuseppe, did you want to add anything to that?
I do think that this has been explained really well. The purpose of this synergistic holistic approach between the two project managers is that the sum of their activity, in the activities as individuals, will result in more than just this sum. They will take care of the alignment or peer-to-peer of every department that are involved in each development program. I'm thinking about quality. I'm thinking about manufacturing, PAD, in such a way that the project is again coordinated from the beginning. Solutions are found together, and whenever possible, every hiccup that could come up during the development program can be tackled even before that it shows up. Again, a great benefit will be the coordination of the schedule. If we have even the suspect that something can be shifted or moved from one schedule, the other one will be informed immediately, and the solution will be found real time by both parties.
All right, interesting. This is really going to be interesting to watch. Here's another good question. Does the drug product release and stability assays run by Millipore or Simtra separately, one location? Who develops the assays and who does the transfer if a transfer is needed?
The good thing is that we have redundancy on this. So I think it depends on how the programs is born and evolves. I think we will have our suggestions for the customers coming in, but again, the power of two is that there are options, there's redundancy, so this can be taken case by case according to the best possible solution.
All right. Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation, very interesting model. I want to thank you both for being with us today. Lupe Rojas and Giuseppe Camporeale, representing the MilliporeSigma and Simtra Alliance. So thank you very much for being with us today.